Hello, Internets! I'm Joe.
I'm Eric.
And I'm sad we don't have any emails to read.
And you're listening to Just Cool Enough, and why the fuck is Pokemon Go not live anywhere but fucking New Zealand? God damn
my
it.
gosh, yeah, I've been seeing all that Pokemon Go stuff. I'm excited.
It's not that. Like,
Me too.
When you go to the Android thing, it's like, oh, I would love to install this. And it's like, oh, you don't have a device that can play it. It's like, fuck you, yeah, I do. It's like, this app not compatible with this device. It's like, the fuck it isn't. It's totally compatible, but just not released in America. I mean, I've got an Android, so I could totally like download the APK file or whatever it's called and stuff. But I'm too lazy to do that. I just fucking make it live already. There's a whole Reddit subreddit for it, and there's just like
okay, that's enough. That's enough. Ike has no interest in Pokemon. It's just me and you, basically, just like grazing each other in the dark, talking about Pokemon. While Ike is just like.
I enjoy it. I'm hoping maybe some of your interests will rub off on me, like your car interest tried to kind of do.
Man, Ike, I loved you on Top Dead Center. That was a great episode. We talked about that last week. Welcome back from Las Vegas, Ike Dodge.
Thank you. I'm not sure why you need to say my last name, but I appreciate the welcome.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that.
I won all the monies. In fact, I can fund this show completely now for the next 10 seconds or so.
Oh yeah. Our burn rate is $25, so... How much did you actually come back? What was your winnings like?
Well, I went with 200, figuring that like in cash, so that way I wouldn't like spend any more. And I came back with 225.
So you can actually pay for a month.
That's a whole month.
And if you want $5 left over to get a burrito.
So I was hoping to come back with enough to pay for an HTC Vive, but you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Listeners, if you want to help support the show for like a month, you could donate $20. Go donate on the show. The show is called Just Cool Enough, justcoolenough.com. You can go donate. And guys, I'm just so happy to have Ike back. I had just last week Eric was just sitting there, and I was just like telling him like, oh Eric, let's talk about this, let's talk about that, and he's like, no, I have these scars I want to talk about. Oh,
that's
man.
not true. You was like, the fuck you want to talk about? And I was like, I don't know. This? And you're like, yeah, go, okay, go. Like, so.
Yeah, it was my fault.
He wanted to vent about us.
Don't try and pull that bullshit on me. I was dealing with some shit.
You can't even believe the shit I was dealing with that last week.
I was dealing with so much shit, so many mixed emotions. I was happy and sad and hungry all at the same time. It's just, it's hard being me. It's
Eric,
so hard.
Eric, why don't you tell me about your week? How was your week?
I went to the planetarium. I got to see a planetarium show. The planetarium show at the Griffith Observatory, really awesome. I don't know, they had like the craziest digital projector, and it's fantastic. And they got this lady who is like I don't know if it's like, it opens with like this woman. She's like walking around the audience with like this orb that changes colors, and she's doing the speech, and she's all like very dramatic, and then like the planetarium show starts and shit, and you can hear her throughout. I don't know. I'm not sure if it then goes to pre-recorded or if it's her talking, because it feels like it would, like it's like a half-hour show. It wouldn't be her talking the whole time, but maybe it is, because she could have just done it live. I don't know, but it was really awesome, and you get to see all this shit, and then. I got to look through a telescope and see Jupiter and 3 of its moons, and that was pretty awesome. And then some other stuff I'm not going to talk about on the show happened that was pretty awesome. Joe knows about it, and Ike knows about it, but fuck you guys. I don't like you guys, the listeners. And then I did all that kind of stuff.
I, for one, like the listeners. Why am I always the guy that's like, oh, like Eric's always saying fuck you, and I'm always like, no, stay around, we like you. I feel like Eric's like the abusive dad, and then I'm like the mom who makes the thing. Oh, come here, I'll make you a thing, sweetie. Don't worry, he's not gonna hit you again. He'll be fine. And I have to like talk to Ike. He's like the grandpa. I'm like, I don't know what to do with him. He's out of control. So Ike,
what are you saying? Trying to say that I'm old? I don't understand.
Yeah, well, I mean, comparatively, yeah, you're oldest. I'm sorry, is that ageist?
It is. But
well,
don't worry. I'm just gonna quit my job here at the show and sue for all the monies.
No, you could just use the retirement. You can use the Just Cool Enough 401k. Oh, yeah.
About that. We made a lot of bad investments. In 2008, we invested heavily in real estate. It was a real bad choice.
Didn't it bounce back? Like, couldn't we put more money in? Bounce back?
I mean, it could have, but then we were like, oh, it's only going to get worse, so we sold it all off and then invested in a lot of other things. Like,
Right.
we're like, real estate's bad. What's going to stick around? MySpace. And then
Homogenized cat milk.
The thing
Yeah.
is, like, we had this opportunity. There was this company called Tazela, and then there was MySpace. So we put all the stuff in MySpace, and then this other company got really big, but not a big deal.
I mean, I will say we were an early adopter in the Oculus Rift, but then we got out and we're like, this is never going to take off.
Not
VR is
gonna
never going to
happen.
be.
Yeah.
So we pulled out of that. Literally 3 hours later, Facebook bought them for $1 billion. So that was kind of another kick in the dick.
And
We
then-
always seem to.
Yeah, I mean, I think actually it's been working out really well because whatever decision we make for the show, I've done the opposite for my normal portfolio. So I put a lot of money into Meerkat. It was huge. A lot of the show's money, at least, and now look at it. It's working out great. Now everything's dead because of Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Ike, how was your week? Welcome back from vacation. Where were you? What were you up to?
I was in Vegas watching shows, and I went to the Grand Canyon, and I went to.
Have you ever been to
Hoover
the
Dam.
Grand Canyon before?
No, I have not ever been to the Grand Canyon. I thought I had as a kid, but it was a picture of a different canyon. That was not as grand.
Your parents just tricked you. They're like, yeah, you've been to the Grand Canyon, kid.
Yeah, I mean the Grand
Shut
Canyon.
up, little Ike.
Yeah.
The Grand
There
Canyon
was-
is one of those places that like you just have to fucking see one day because nothing describes,
Well,
no picture has
Yeah, no
ever.
picture does it justice. It's kind of like trying to describe a dream to someone. It just doesn't quite do the same thing.
Mhm.
Well, the really cool part about being at the Grand Canyon was there was a probably a stupid thing I did there, but really cool, was there was a thunderstorm rolling in at one point, and so I was up on what they call the anthill on this outcropping, and as I was climbing up there, my fiance's father was climbing down. He's like, hey, if you put your hand up in the air, you can hear this crackling noise. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, you should go up there. He's like, it's really weird. And so I went up there and I stuck my hand up in the air, and it was the ions from the storm that we're charging,
No way.
and it was literally like just maybe like 5 inches, like hand length above my head, that was making this crackling noise. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I went and tried to take a picture, like a panoramic on my iPhone of the Grand Canyon, but the static electricity in the air scrambled the phone, like scrambled the picture. I didn't realize it until after I checked out the picture. So they came out all wonky looking. But it was super cool, and then I ended up holding.
And that's how you got static shock powers.
Well, actually, I did
Captain
electrocute
Quinn.
myself with my iPhone because it was up in the air, and apparently from the metal, the electricity jumped from the metal of the phone into my hand. And
So you actually electrocuted yourself from ionized air
in the Grand Canyon.
in the Grand Canyon. Aren't you? What about lightning? Like, weren't you basically a giant lightning rod with green hair?
Yeah, that's after the fact. Like, you realize that, like, that's probably what could have happened, was I had my hand up with metal in it, and I was sticking it up into a lightning storm.
What's wrong with you? How does that only cross your mind after that happened?
Well, I mean, it kind of did during it, but you just kind of want to put it aside and forget about it because you really want to have that really cool experience.
I love my life. This is awesome. I can only talk like a robot now. 'Cause
I'm
that's
gonna
what-
live forever.
but that's how I want to go out. Something like that.
Electrocuted by a really cool lightning strike.
As long as it was really cool lightning strike.
Yeah, not one of those stupid, lame ones.
Yeah, exactly. I watched a video of you ziplining through Las Vegas, and I
Yeah.
thought was that Fremont Street?
Yeah, that was Old Vegas on Fremont Street.
You know, I'm tired of people saying this. I watch a YouTube video, so I'm an expert now. It's not Las Vegas. Isn't Las Vegas? It's called like Paradise. Like technically, it's outside of
Okay,
this.
Eric. Jeez.
It's not part of. It's an unincorporated city.
And that's why all the legal stuff flies there. Okay. The rest of the world calls it Las Vegas, and everybody knows what we're talking about. Do you want us to call it Paradise? Is that... Hey, how was everything in Paradise?
Oh, I had a great time in Paradise. It was so paradorific.
Shut up! Don't make words like that
That a word?
anymore. That was a terrible word. I'm all for word creation, but not that one.
Well, I don't judge you on your word creation.
I never created a word in my life, and you know that.
He barely speaks the ones that already exist.
I'm always right on the edge of making it not work.
I also got to Twitter is the thing that I'm a love-hate relationship with, because I'm like, on one hand it's like, fuck Twitter, like I don't really use it, but I always enjoy how how accessible it makes some of the bigger names out there who are willing to go forward and chat with their fans. So I went and talked with Penn from Penn and Teller, because I went to the Penn and Teller show. In fact, he graduated from my high school, and he signed my high school yearbook while I was there.
That's so cool. So you talked to Penn's the big guy, right?
Yeah, he's the big one. Penn Gillette, yep. He has 2 kids, one named Moxie Crime Fighter and the other one's named Zoltan.
Wow.
Anyway, so I was like, hey, if I bring it, will you sign it? He's like, sure. And then I got there, I'm like, hey, I brought it. He's like, yeah, I'll sign it. So after the show, he signed it, and then I put it up on Twitter. I said, thanks for signing my yearbook. He's like, I totally forgot it was the GHS yearbook. He's like, it's really cool. So
you had a conversation with him, you got to meet him, and I think this is what's really nice about Twitter is it tears down walls. It's not just Twitter though. You can do this with other social medias. But I've used Twitter the most to talk to people that I think are cool, and I've never talked to somebody as big as Penn Gillette, though. That's really cool.
Penn, and I've also talked to Adam Savage from the Mythbusters. That was kind of cool.
See, I mean, that's what's. I mean, it's awesome, but I have always a very different experience, because I use Twitter as strictly, I put jokes out there, and I try not to, like, it's not a chat room to me. It's like I'm gonna put out these whatever jokes, and then that's it, and leave them there, and that's what it's for me. It's a platform for that. So I never go at it as I'm gonna follow the celebrity and then reply them. But like, that's the point. It's weird. I don't know why it's I shouldn't do that. Like I've actually I've replied famous, quote-unquote, people, usually just people who are slightly better at comedy than me or more recognizable. And then, I'll, occasionally go through my when I'm looking for jokes to, write a sketch on, I'll go through my Twitter, and then I'll see, @replies and be embarrassed that I tried to talk to somebody once, and then they didn't respond. So clearly, because they didn't respond, they actively hated that I was trying to talk to them, which is not the case, because anytime somebody @replies me, I usually don't respond, but I'm always happy that I got a notification on my phone, but I'm always like, better delete this tweet from 6 months ago at fucking, I don't know, fucking Morgan Webb or whoever the fuck I might have done.
Nerd chatting Morgan Webb.
I don't think I've ever chatted Morgan Webb. I don't follow her on Twitter. I just couldn't think of a name of somebody feasible.
Nerd. Thinking of Morgan Webb.
Yeah, maybe Adam Sessler. That's more. I see. And that's another thing. It's like, I shouldn't follow Morgan Webb because I don't want to be creepy. It's like, why? If she's on Twitter, she wants people to follow. I don't know.
What is with your anxiety, dude? It's Twitter. You think, oh my gosh, that Duncor guy, he's a creep. He just followed me and never said anything.
Oh no,
that's not how Twitter works.
That shit happened to me today. There's this girl I know. She's played D&D with us a couple of times, and she's pretty cool. And then I just followed her on Twitter because I noticed somebody it was one of those people you may know. I was like, oh, I know her. I didn't know she was on Twitter. I followed her. I was like, oh God, what if I'm creepy now? What if I? And then almost immediately she followed me back because she knows me. So why the fuck wouldn't she? But it's like oh God, what if? Is it weird that I'm following someone on an open social media platform where we're all trying to gain likes for our own self-worth?
I always find it weird though when somebody of maybe B-list status on in terms of Hollywood stardom follows me on Instagram. I get really creeped out by it. I can't remember the last guy who did it the other day. And I was like, who is this guy? And I went he's like, I looked at his profile. I was like, I'm an actor and I do this and I do that. And so I'm like, okay, I'll IMDb this.
That was me.
Kind of actor he is. And it was like, oh, he's been in a couple of small parts in some movies and this and that. And I was like, why would he want to follow me? That makes no
Maybe
sense.
they listen to my fitness, or maybe they listen to your fit. Wait, no, what's that fitness show we do? Oh yeah, just
Just
fit
fit
enough.
enough.
Maybe they listen to that. Maybe they listen to
Guys,
this.
I'm just saying, like I know Mila Jovovich posted a picture of her Snapchat thing and said follow me on Snapchat, and then I followed her, but I immediately regretted it because I'm like, oh, it's creepy. Like even though she wants followers. I also I don't understand Snapchat. I know that there's like a way to talk to people in it, but I don't do that. So I don't really understand the platform at all. But yeah, I should. I've made a concerted effort in the past few weeks. I'm liking more things on Instagram. I've decided I hold back on likes too much. I should like more things.
Like. I would like it.
It means nothing to me, but it means the world to other people. You know.
Wow,
When
that's
did
so.
you give a shit about other people? That's weird.
I know.
No, I mean,
what,
it
dude?
takes-
I
it
think
takes
I think
no
you're
effort.
changing.
It takes like no effort for me to just click on this thing. Like here's my buddy Angela. She's got a picture of like some tomatoes. Fuck it, yeah, why not? Like it means
Throw it a
nothing.
like.
It
Slap a
means
like on it.
nothing to me. And it don't mean like to them. It's like oh hey sweet. This many people liked a photo I did. You know.
Yeah, Eric, that's what it's all about. Are you just realizing now what social media is about?
No, it just
Like,
like I always.
this just
There
happened.
are other people out there. They have.
Wait a second. People appreciate attention?
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna go crazy. Like my buddy Chris, I've seen him like sit there and like everything on his feed on Instagram. I'm like, what the? No, fuck that.
Well,
I'm
that
gonna
takes
be a
away the
little
power
discer-
of a like.
Yeah, I'm
Don't
gonna
do
be a
that.
little discerning, but yeah, it's like I'm gonna be slightly more discerning. But yeah,
See,
I'm gonna.
Eric, this is the rule of thumb. This is the rule of thumb with likes. If you like it, you should
Like
get
it.
Yeah.
See, it's a very simple rule. If you think it's cool, then like it. If you don't, then fuck it. Don't like it. There's no like. What are you so? You've had multiple conversations with me off the show where you're like, "Hey, is it okay if I like this?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. If you
No.
like a thing, then like it."
I'm just saying, like, you can always see like in like on Instagram, like so and so liked these 3 photos, and if 8 of them are like bikini pictures of girls I kind of vaguely know and follow on Instagram,
Who
that's gonna be
cares? Then,
weird.
you know what I would say? I would say Eric likes hot girls. Wow, what a conclusion. I'd be like, oh wow, look at those hotties that Eric's liking. Maybe I should move to LA. Wow, that's great. Great for Eric.
You really
Wait.
should. The women here are fantastic.
Wow.
But
Jeez.
I'd never know that because you don't like
He's
any of
had
their
them all. Yeah, why aren't you liking those pictures? Maybe it would sell me on it more. Hey, there's possibilities. There's things afoot, so don't, I'm not going to
No,
discount everything.
life's horrible and nothing ever goes right.
Well, that's you know what? That's a really important lesson.
That's actually that's directly related to the amount of likes you give on things. You have a better life with better quality of living if you liked more things on social media.
Yeah, and sometimes you gotta love it, heart it, star it. You just gotta do it. Whatever it is, do the thing, make the person feel good. It makes you feel good too, because then they reciprocate it sometimes.
It releases the endorphins in your brain.
It does.
You don't need to work out anymore because you get that same feeling.
That same high. Well, there is. I mean, you do get an endorphin rush from the act of receiving a like or attention online.
What?
Yeah. Yes, that happens, and you get a rush. It's perfect.
Also, I need to use more hashtags because I Instagrammed something like a week ago, and I hashtagged it, and it's still constantly getting like the things that I hashtag get immensely more likes than the things I don't hashtag.
Yeah,
so,
Eric,
so,
I thought you just weren't doing.
That's how social media works. You're supposed to hashtag
okay,
it.
this is mind blowing to me because I just thought you just didn't want the show to grow and stuff. I didn't understand you didn't realize that hashtags
How
are
to
really
make it
fucking
grow.
important. What the hell, dude? We're 337 episodes into this, and now you're figuring out hashtags are great.
yeah.
You're the guy who posts the show.
Hashtag doesn't post show with hashtags.
Ridiculous.
I mean, I only do it because no one else will. Because if I don't do it, it doesn't get done.
I'm just saying, I'm glad you found this out.
Hashtag good for you.
Hashtag why.
That's going to be the name of the show. Hashtag.
I've started hashtagging off of social media, like in emails and things like that. And, so like in one of my works, one of my jobs, we have a internal service that actually @replies and hashtags just started working one day. They're like, everybody's using them and they don't link to anything. So now they link to stuff. So everything started working.
So your IT guy begrudgingly set up a hashtag thing because people are so ingrained in the mentality of adding hashtags and replying to things that they had to develop a system in your internal email servers to accept that this is a thing that people are going to do anyway, so we might as well utilize it.
Exactly, and it works so well. It works way better, because then you could just click an idea like, hey, what was that thing? Oh, hashtag that thing. Boom. Okay, here you go. It works. You tagged it. That's great. Or I just need to find all the posts by this person. Boom. There it is. Perfect. It's great. It's. I wish it was as flawless as other like big social media sites, but I mean it works pretty well. I'm excited that it's actually being used all over the place. It's not just a social media thing. Actually, that the hashtag was developed, and the @ sign, they're actually being used correctly in the coding world. That's what it was developed for. So, I mean, all these for years it wasn't. It was just everybody called it the pound sign, but that's actually wrong. It's never the pound sign. It was always the hashtag. I don't know that for real.
I use hashtags at my job. I just use them verbally when the kids ask me questions, or like I'm like, hey, listen, you didn't get this project, and they're like, well, I didn't. I was doing this other thing. I'm like, hashtag not my problem.
hashtag. You're just hashtagging the kids and trolling them the whole time.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, why? That's the way they troll kids.
Troll. Hashtag teacher troll. We be
okay,
trolling.
We're not going down that road. We're done.
Well, you want to keep hashtagging everything?
Well, I do want to take a second.
That would be funny though. You standing in class and you're like taking attendance, and you're like, Jeffrey. At Jeffrey? At Jeffrey, are you here? At Jeffrey, hashtag are you here? Hashtag late.
Hashtag Bueller.
Hashtag Bueller.
Hashtag fuck my life. Hashtag teacher life.
I ran into somebody that called it pound still. I'm like, what is with you? What kind of?
I hope that person fell in a hole and died.
I know, right?
No, I don't wish that.
Pound's not my problem.
Pound sign.
Hashtag sarcasm.
Pound sign. Hashtag die in a fire. Like. You know what? Maybe I'll start calling it pound sign. Yeah. So anyway, what I was going to say is thank you to Alpha Geek Radio for providing us with this marvelous live chat room. You could join the show just like Brady did. I'm sure Brady's in there because I saw him earlier. At justcoolenough.com/live, or hashtag just go to you can say hashtag in the chat room and it actually picks up in there because that's how advanced that IRC is. But yeah, you can join all the rest of the people and fun in the live chat room at justcoolenough.com. We do the live show every week at 6:30 Eastern time, whatever time it is for you. You have to convert it. I don't know where you live. You know, don't ask me to do these things. Let's just stop being a pain in the butt.
We don't know your life.
Yeah, I mean, just like you download the show, you never call, you never tell us you're here. If you want to, you can email the show at the show.
Your mother's making a nice sauce.
It's a sugu. Your mother's making a nice sugu for you. Right. So, justcoolenough.com/live. Go check it out. Thanks to Alpha Geek Radio for. I looked at the list on Alpha Geek Media on all the different things we are streaming on. And I was blown away. I know that there's so many people listening on so many different devices, and we need to figure out a way to fold these numbers in because it's kind of crazy the way. Like people are watching us on PlayStation 4s. Like why aren't you playing a video game? What are you doing?
Hashtag. What are you doing?
So thanks to Alpha Geek Media for getting us out there on all those other devices. That is really cool. Todd's an awesome dude. Also, if you want to start a podcast, you can in under 5 minutes with ShoutEngine.com. Start your own damn podcast for free. All you need is a microphone, an internet connection, and something else. Time.
Hashtag sponsored.
Hashtag something. Sponsored by Shout Engine. So, all right, we got all the plugs and stuff out of the way. The main topic for this week we were going to talk about is actually family vacations. Since Ike just got back from one and it's kind of vacation season, we thought it was a good thing to talk about. Eric, you want to lead us off about some family vacation stories? Do you have a good one for us?
The only thing I can really think about at the moment, because I told myself I would prep and I did not, is we took our family trip to it was Yellowstone, and it was the first time because we'd done like Disneyland or something like that, but this was the first time we hopped in a van and drove, like one of those like road trippy ones. And I remember because it was like my parents, my sister, me, and actually my grandma was with us, and it was great because Yellowstone's fantastic, but one of like a couple of really fun moments were like it was like mid-July and it was raining, and that fucking, like, as a kid I'm like, what? Because I'm from Northern California. It does not rain like that. It was like heavy raining, like a rainstorm, like a tree fell over and almost hit our windshield, so much rain.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then
more like a deluge than rain.
Yeah, it was crazy, and like and then there was like on that same trip, my grandma got like something in her eye and had to go to the hospital, and we thought that was gonna fuck up the whole trip, and then like so that's always fun. Or my dad got real sick on the drive there, and then but being
like throwing up sick.
Not that bad, but like just not feeling great. It was just like a 24-hour flu or some shit, but still refused to let my mom drive the van the next day. Like still like sick, like 100-degree fever. Still was the one who had to drive. Like so, those are the fun moments that step out at me as like the crazy stuff. But nothing terrible happened. I mean, we did some really fun things. We did like Ike saw the Grand Canyon, which, as we mentioned, is something that you just have to see. It's not something that can be shown to you in a video or a picture. You have to see it with your eyes to really understand what it's all about. And that same vacation we went on, we went to Monument Valley, which is probably I liked a little more than Grand Canyon, just because it's I'm a fan of westerns, and basically it's where every western ever made was ever shot and ever will be for the most part.
The ones in Italy.
Yeah, except for the Italian ones that were shot. No, they're all shot in Spain. They're Italian directors who shoot them in Spain. But yeah, so those are just kind of fun vacation memories. And then the cruise I went on and stuff.
Well, so I think that vacations are it's such a it's not an American thing, but it's a privileged thing to go on a vacation, right? Like,
oh yeah.
I don't want to just make it sound like it's something that's like, oh, everyone goes on vacation. That's just not true. And for a long time, especially in my younger childhood, that just wasn't something that was going to happen. And so I think my dad tried to make up for lost time by taking us on bigger trips later. And but the one from my childhood that I can remember, which
before you get to that, I just want to, like, on your point, yeah, it is one of those things, like, I didn't realize, because we went on a vacation, at least like a week-long like thing, basically once a year. Like we did Disneyland a couple of times. We did a couple of road trips, and like there was always something we did like once a year during the summer. And like I had no idea that wasn't a thing that upper middle class white kid from privilege. I didn't realize that wasn't a thing that every kid got to do.
Yeah, so that was actually really something. I can remember people talking about it. About going on vacation, and I just thinking it might as well have been a faraway land, some sort of far off kingdom. Like, oh, where is this vacation you speak of? I don't know. But eventually, I think it took till I was about 7, maybe 9 years old. I don't even remember. It was a long time ago. We did go to one vacation in my younger years, and it was the big one. It was the one like all the kids always wanted. It was to Walt Disney World in Florida. Ooh. And it was a Christmas gift from both of my grandparents. They got together and they bought this, and my dad saved up money so he could take the time off, and we drove to Florida in a '93 Ford Aerostar, and you bet I remember the car. And we were so excited. It was the one real vacation that I can remember from my childhood. We listened to the same song. It was like torture for my dad and my mom probably, but we listened to the same cassette, not cassette, just tape, tape cassette for the entire drive, and it was a string of Walt Disney songs from all the different movies. And
It's a small world.
Yes, every one of those things, and they were just terrible, terrible child songs. And my dad was just happy to listen to it the whole way down because he knew it would shut us up. and
Now
so
you just give an iPad.
It took. Not back then, I couldn't have done.
Yeah,
But yeah, it took like 2 days to get down there. We stopped in the middle of the way and dicked around and got there. Had pretty much the time of your life as a kid. I got to go to Nickelodeon Studios. I was on a show called Wienerville.
I remember that show.
I remember Wienerville.
You guys actually, you guys are the first people that I've talked to that are like, Wienerville, what? I was on Wienerville. I did like the little dance and everything, right? And I
want to see like your episode of Wienerville because I remember.
I wish if somebody could actually find the episode of Wienerville that I was on, and we did a thing, and I was on the thing. I can't remember. I don't know the episode number. I don't remember anything about it.
Did you
I don't
see your own episode, or did?
No. I looked for it all over the place, but there is an episode out there
fat
where
Italian kid on the TV show.
No,
like,
I was skinny. I was skinny back then.
We
When
can't
I was
have this.
9 or. Yeah, I was this cute little skinny Italian kid. It was before I looked like a stuffed sausage. But
so if anyone wants to look through the 62 episodes of Wienerville,
it's only 62 episodes.
If you could narrow it down to like a specific year, that would help us, I think.
It would be 93 or 94.
93. So in the first season or two, or the first year or two.
Somebody that would be hilarious. So yeah, apparently I guess
it was only on. Yeah. It was only on 2 seasons. So yeah, you're like 93, 94. So the entirety of its run.
All right. If somebody wants to go through 62 episodes of Wienerville, you might be able to catch a glimpse of a young.
If you can print it out, or if you can get a copy on VHS, Joe will sign it. I can promise you that.
It's out on DVD, guys.
Is it really?
I mean, a quick.
If
you can get VHS, that'll work too. But
I hope
maybe it's not.
I'm in the special features.
I saw a picture of a DVD, but then it linked to a DeviantArt, so so it's probably not out on
DeviantArt of Wienerville.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I don't think it's ever been released to DVD yet.
Yeah, why would somebody want that? Only like people that were on the show would ever want it. Anyway, so I was on that show, saw Nickelodeon Studios, did the tour of Orlando Studios, rode the ET ride, did everything that a child would want to do, and I still think and have memories of that trip and how much fun it was, and it was the pinnacle of being a young kid for me, and I still feel that when somebody goes to a place like that where it was built up so much, this is the place where dreams come true. This is the greatest place on earth and all that stuff, and I bought into all of it, and it was wonderful. So that was my big family vacation. I can't remember anything that went wrong, but I can remember. On the way back, my dad was so anxious to get back home after spending a week in Orlando, Florida, in the humidity with children and wife and paying all this money. He didn't even stop at the hotels we planned to get.
Just kept driving, grumbling to himself.
The only times we stopped was for gas, and it was, I believe, twice. He drove completely through the night from Florida to Michigan. Through the night, we left in the morning, and it was a nonstop van ride in this Aerostar. We went to the bathroom in the van. We dumped it out at the rest stops. We were getting home as fast as possible. That actually was the miserable part of the trip. I gotta go. Oh.
Go in the cup. Go in the cup. Just dump it out.
We got a large cup from McDonald's, and that was back when they had the really big cups, so it held plenty of waste. Yeah, so that happened. I don't know why he wanted to go home so bad. He probably was sick of being with two terrible little kids and my mom and me and just the fighting and stuff. That's one thing. I remember it fondly, but my mom talks about the trip. She's like, you guys fought the whole time. How did you have a good time there? You and your brother just fought the entire time. This was pre my other youngest brother. So that's my long-winded story.
That's one of the things that, like, I did all this, like, classic Americana that I saw as a child that I barely remember now as an adult because we did it when I was so young. Like the Grand Canyon was so long ago. I was maybe 12. When I saw that in Monument Valley, it was the same with like I got to see Snake River Canyon where Evel Knievel tried to jump it and all that stuff. But it was so long ago that I remember some of it, but like as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I think like memories never are quite what they like. You never actually remembering it. You're like rebuilding it in your mind, so it's always slightly corrupted. So I don't know what like if I actually remember like how much of it like I saw on TV and I'm piecing together with my actual memories.
Ike, what do you remember of your childhood vacations?
The one that really sticks out to me in terms of like a whole family was two separate but identical trips to Canada where we did 2 houseboats and took the entire family.
Whoa, that's a cool trip.
We went through the Great Lakes and had a really good time. And I remember sleeping in a bunk with my uncles on the bottom bunk, and they would snore like nobody's business. Mm-hmm. And I remember, I think, taking one of my dad's really good fishing lures and trying to troll off the back of the boat and accidentally losing the fishing lure in the water and thinking my dad's going to be pissed. And he was like, no, but like I'm sure he was really kind of angry about it or kind of upset, but on the outwardly he was like, it is what it is. So I think that was definitely a blast for me. I picked up the second time, which is still behind me on the table, beaver in a can, which is a lot more hilarious when it became an adult, but it's a little stuffed beaver in a can that you had to use a can opener to get at.
How does it look?
It's a little stuffed beaver. I don't know.
It's an animal. There's an animal, a beaver, and it's in a can.
Yeah,
is it a beaver?
It's a fake beaver. It's a stuffed beaver, like a little toy. But it says on the outside like ingredients, and then it has a little bit of facts about where you can find beavers and like what they make their lodging out of and stuff. I don't know.
So it's
really cool.
It's not like a sexual thing.
No, it was nothing sexual.
40 gag gift from Spencer's or something.
No, but it could totally be.
Okay.
Like now looking back, I'm like, I got beaver in a can. But I was like, there were different animals. You get like a duck in a can. I'm like, I don't want a duck. They're not cute. I want a beaver. They're cute. And now I'm like, beaver.
I don't get it. Do you guys remember? Like, this is I don't know why I'm like, hey, you remember this? When it's probably something only I experienced. But I remember on vacation once, like it happened to me 2 times. Once when we were on one of those long road trippy vacations where we were in a hotel pool, like just a stop away hotel, and then later when I was slightly older, when I was on when my family took a cruise. But the idea of when I realized I didn't have to be me in front of these complete strangers that I'd never see again. Like I remember specifically, like I think it was the Grand Canyon trip. We went to a pool, and it was, I think these kids I'd seen like their parents were also going to like a Grand Canyon, so we saw each other at the pool again. Like we'd stop and like, I want to go in the pool. So we were in the pool, and I was like hanging out with these kids that I didn't really know. And I realized I could just kind of lie about who I was,
everything.
I could just make shit up because they couldn't fact check me. They weren't gonna, I was never going to see these kids again.
And it's not like you had the internet back then. You could just whip out your smartphone and be like, let's see where this kid really lives.
These kids weren't going to add me on Facebook later. And it happened a little more when I was on this Caribbean cruise because it was like there's like a group of kids that were all my age. I think it was like I was
You
between
went on
sixth
a
and seventh
Caribbean
grade.
cruise? What?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I went on a Caribbean
Shit,
cruise.
dude, you had so many cool things.
Yeah, so I come from privilege. I don't know if you know this, but
I didn't know you were
yeah,
privileged when you're considered. Like, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
we
You're
went on a
privileged compared to me?
yeah,
What a shit, jeez.
yeah, upper middle class white kid.
That's why that's why Eric's paying for the site.
Yeah. This is you're paying reparations
There was
to
a bunch
me.
of there was like a group of kids, like a core group of like 6 of us, maybe more, that were all basically the same age, and like the cruise had like the kids center where like the parents could drop their kids off so they could play. They had video games and all kinds of shit, and then they would go on outings, like when we'd stop on the island, like the kids like basically daycare shit, but like different ranges for like
cool daycare with NES and stuff.
well, because there was like actual daycare for like infants to like little kids, and then there was like the tween daycare for us where they would do like outings like a beach day, or they would do stuff for us like on the island sometimes when we stopped by, and there was like a group of kids, and I realized I could just kind of be whoever I was. Like, I could just make shit up. I remember, though, I told people I was from California, and they were like, oh, do you go surfing all the time? I was like, no, I don't do that all the time. I've never been surfing in my life. But, yeah, I was just like, I could do whatever. And also, like, I had really curly hair, and I got my hair straightened-ish. It didn't take that well, because my hair was a lot curlier back then. But I was like, I got straight hair now. I didn't really. And I could just be whoever, and no one will ever know. And, like, one of the girls I had a crush on, but she just did not reciprocate the crush.
I had a crush on all the girls I met on vacation.
I mean, obviously I had a crush on all of them, but there was, like, one specifically. I was like, maybe this is the one.
Maybe I got a chance. This is
yeah,
true
this is
love.
the one. And then she was all after another guy. So, like, and, we had, like, 5 days. So they had plenty of time to their kindling 12-year-old romance. And then I just was, like, never, I was always a bridesmaid, never a bride in that situation. So
sad.
My true colors rang out. I was too far gone at that point. I was still a pretty chubby kid. I was never, I thought, like, I was chubby and I didn't realize how chubby I was. So I was like, it was just like I was already the me I am now. I just didn't realize it yet. like.
So Ike, did you ever do something like that, like funky when you're on vacation?
Funky on vacation? Can't say that I have. No.
You were impersonating someone else.
No, because
playing a character.
No, I think the closest that comes to mind, and we've talked about this, I think a couple weeks back, was like when I went to Austria, and I was speaking in German to a woman at a music shop, but I only know like thank you, how are you, do you speak English, do you speak German, that kind of thing. So it was just enough to like oh, you put something down, and I started apparently a conversation. The woman she was actually a really attractive young lady, went off on this like conversation. I had no idea what she was saying, and she got to the end of it, and was like, "Sprachen Sie English?" And she just kind of smiled and took my money, and I paid for my stuff and went on my way. But I was definitely not trying to play a part. But like apparently, I was convincing enough in my accent to come across as perhaps someone from the area.
Yeah,
I think I brought up like that was like for my mom in France, because she was like, I don't speak French at all. I don't know what I'm doing out here. And then like people would start talking to her, and then she would reply in French, and they would seem to have conversations. I don't know how, like I don't speak a word of French, but from my vantage point, it looked like she was doing just fine speaking French. But it just kind of angered me a little bit, because she would like. When we boarded the plane, they would say like bonjour, to us as we boarded the plane, and she would reply in a very French accent, and because we were clearly together, they would start speaking to us in French. Like we got on the plane, like bonjour, and then they started giving us directions to our seats in French, and I'm like, oh, god damn it, I don't know what I can find my own goddamn seat. Thankfully, I don't need. But if there's any important information, I'm missing it because everyone thinks she speaks really good French, except
once this
for
plane
her.
reaches altitude at 5,000 or 30,000 feet,
The plane is going down. Yeah.
Please
grab
secure.
this and then push this button, and you're like, I don't know what's going on. Everyone else is
It's your
scrambling
job
around
to
you.
save yourself on the plane. Parachutes are supplied at the front. If you
Yeah.
can't understand this because you don't speak French, well, then fuck off.
Well, they
need
did
to-
actually. Air France does do its announcements in French first and then in English.
Well,
But
yeah,
it's funny because
they
they're
do the
French.
country of origin, and then they do the country that you're gonna be
Well,
landing in.
Well, it's just funny because like their announcements, the French versions were always like twice as long. I don't know if it's because he's like taking his time or he's thinking about it, and then he's like more concise, like he figures out what he means to say as he's talking, and so it can be more concise. But it's always like
They do that 100 times a day.
twice as long to get through the French than it does the English.
It's because it's easier for them to speak in their native tongue, and they just learned how to say like that in
That's
French.
not. I don't know about you, but when I was in French, they all spoke English better than I do.
Oh yeah,
In
for
order
sure.
to be given a life jacket, you need to speak the special password, which we've just discussed.
Actually, most non-native English speakers can speak our language better than us, but at least in the business world, for sure. I get I really have to dot my I's and cross my T's, for lack of a better term, when I'm speaking, when I'm writing, especially because they have been studying this for years. Where something where it's like just. For us, we're just like, yeah, whatever, it's English, we speak it every day. Where they take so much pride in learning these languages, and they had to in school. So, but what I wanted to get back, dude. I did the same thing, Eric. I pretended to be other people, and especially like that 11, 12-year-old, 13-year-old thing.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be
that's the
cool
age-
to go on vacation. Like, I'm gonna bring all, because I had my coolest clothes. I brought all my cool stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be super cool, and I'm going to act like the way I think a cool person acts. And
Because around like 10 to 13 is like that time period when you as a person decide who you are. Like decide what kind of person, it's when you start like developing a personality. Anyone younger than that doesn't have a personality really. Like they kind of do sometimes, but it can change. It's in flux. But that's when you decide kind of who you want to be. So you're like at that age you're like trying shit out.
yeah,
So
exactly.
Vacations are a great time to go like, maybe I'll be this guy today.
Yeah, that was I could remember like getting I don't know, it was like I'm like, oh, short sleeve button down shirt, good idea, that's what cool kids wear. And I'm like, oh yeah, silver chain, that silver chain that everybody wore, that's like a necklace. I
don't know that because nobody did that over
Maybe
here.
that was just me. But like, okay, what are those what are they called? Puka shells or something?
Oh yeah, puka, that all over the place here.
Yeah. Okay, so like that was like the puka shells equivalent of an Italian.
Yeah, that was like your 90s silver chain was my 90s puka shell hemp necklace.
Right, and there was people that wore that here, but I would look at those guys and be like, they're not cool.
Yeah.
But those were cool kids then. I didn't know. And I still don't know what's cool. So there. I always was that person. But yeah, I totally did that too. Like just try out something else. Like I'm on vacation. I'm a new person. And then I'm like, this is weird. I don't know how to be this person. I don't want to be this guy. But I probably stole Eric's like crush though when we were like met up somewhere.
I wouldn't put it past you. You would have been a lot more confident than I was at that age.
I would have been like, hey baby, I sing in a choir. I sing in a church choir. Yeah, that would be my pickup line.
And I would have said, I play a lot of Street Fighter. I'm not as good as Tommy though. Tommy's real good at Street Fighter. Brendan's okay. I can beat Brendan sometimes. But Tommy's the best at Street Fighter.
Totally
and Ricky's the best at Mortal Kombat. Like I can't. And then he's got this Japanese game, which I don't know all the people in it, but he's really good at it.
And then I would just take that girl aside after you went on your tirade of video games, and I'd be like, "Isn't Eric a nerd?" The boom, right to her heart. So I like video games. Like, shut up! No, you don't. You're a girl. Girls like video game. I'm 12. Because that's 12-year-old logic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can remember doing that. It's funny that you brought that up because it hit a chord with me. I'm like, oh wow, you're another weird person like me, Eric. That's weird. Ike, you're just a normal guy on
By weird
vacation.
apparently.
Ike's all about spending time with his family and being a normal person.
He's not a complete sociopath like you and me.
Yeah, that must be it. Ike, why are you the normal one in this case?
I don't know. I don't know if I go. See, I don't try to pretend I'm somebody else, but I'm the cool guy who brings magic tricks along. Like when I went to Vegas, I bought more magic tricks.
No, that's not it. The cool guy magic tricks. That's oxymoron.
So pretending to be yourself, somebody else. I mean, not.
Keep going.
No, I picked up some cool magic tricks. I like to go around like, especially if I'm at an airport and I see a little kid who's like just flipping their shit and like make everyone's life easier. I will pull out a quarter trick, do a little card trick or whatever with their parents there, and usually
bring a whole thing, saw the girl in half at the airport.
Exactly. Well, it's hard to get that saw through the fucking security.
Do the Penn and Teller thing where you grab someone, you both shoot each other in the face, and you catch the bullets in your teeth. How do they do it? Standing in the middle of the airport.
How did they get those guns through security? And then So wait, do you like carry around like a when you say magic trick, I figure you're playing magic, like you have a magic deck and you're like.
No, I think he means like a deck of cards.
Okay, so you have a deck of cards and you're like playing practical jokes on people and like pulling quarters behind people's ears and stuff. Like what do you do?
I like a quarter trick. I have if there's a deck of cards. Sometimes I have a deck of cards on me.
Why didn't you ever do these tricks around me? I would have been impressed.
Because I know, that's why there's no challenge there. No challenge.
You wanted to put I want to be dazzled next time we meet up, like do a magic trick. I'm gonna be like a really annoying nephew or something. Like, do a magic trick. Do another one. You're like, oh god, this guy. Take me out for ice cream. Do another magic trick.
So I bought the Chinese ring, the ring magic there, where you put the rings together, the linking rings. I bought that when I was in Vegas. But yeah, I like having little things that are easy to kind of pull out.
I mean, you already got a rabbit. You just need a hat.
I actually have tube top hats in the other room.
Tube top hats?
Tube top, yeah. You just
is that what it is for rabbit? I'm asking legitimately.
Two top hats.
Two top hats. Okay. I'm wondering if it's like a magic top hat that has the drop door or something. I don't know. I don't know anything about these magical #magic tricks. I don't know.
No, it's a hat that just looks like a woman's torso and a tube top.
That's a weird hat. Tips your tube top hat.
Mm-hmm. Well, that usually falls around your face.
And that's enough justification to have boobs in the thumbnail.
Wow, I don't know how you're gonna make a thumbnail with a tube top hat in.
I've already got ideas.
Ike's doing magic tricks over here. For all the live listeners on video, we can make Ike the star here. Here, I'll do the backup music and you do the magic.
No, it'd be really cool if I could bang, and they go, oh look, it's gone.
Oh my gosh, you did it right on the show. That was so cool. The amazing. What's your magic name?
I don't have one. But I do magic tricks at school for my kids, and I've actually had some of the teachers come up to me and be like, "Hey, listen, my third grade son is having a birthday party next weekend. Have you ever been hired to do it?" I'm like, "I only know like 3 tricks. I don't think I can get through like a half hour."
You need at least a solid 20.
Keep doing the same one.
You need a solid 20 to stand up the whole time. You could just do some exposition between the tricks and then string out 3 magic tricks.
Bring up relevant current events that are relevant to 5-year-olds, and
Yeah, so there's that email scandal thing, and then you're just like doing the magic tricks and doing all this stuff.
That snack time when Lisa keeps taking everyone's animal crackers. What's with that?
What's with animal crackers? Do they really look like animals? Or
are they animals? Like are they crackers? I don't know.
Am I right? This is a good act right here. This is solid stuff. Eric, I hope you're remembering this. This is gold.
Yeah, totally.
He's gonna put it on Twitter now and see if anybody responds to my poor jokes.
Make sure you use the hashtag, the amazing Ike. I don't know. You need to come up with a snappy magic name though.
It's true.
I don't know. I'm sure a listener could think of one. If you have a good magic name for Ike, you got to send it in. Send it in to the show. The email address is theshow@justcoolenough.com, or you could follow us on our Twitter page, because we have a Twitter page. Do we? Do we have one of those?
Yes.
I meant to say Facebook, but our Twitter is @JCE Show. That stands for Just Cool Enough, and then the word show. You could follow us on
It was
Twitter.
actually Joe, Eric, and Carl, but they never actually got Carl on the show, and they replaced me. But they're too lazy to change the Twitter page at that point.
I mean, we
They've
already
done all
bought the
that.
domain.
Yeah.
Just cool. And
It was actually, if it was Rob
I
Coyne, it was Coyne. It was his last name. So they didn't get confused with all the other Robs out there. But
you know, if only your name was with the C. You know, like, do you have a C in your middle name, maybe?
Yeah, can you just, not? Can you just change it? Just.
Here's a suggestion from the live chat room: the Magic Dodger. The mysterious Magic Dodge. You gotta have some more alliteration in there. Throw some extra M's or D's and
yeah,
stuff.
they're gonna cast me in Now You See Me, Now You Don't 3. That's what I'm gonna be in the next one.
Anyway, let's
thought
stop
you
talking
were-
about all this magic shit and start plugging each other.
All right.
My plug for this week, I did a video on our YouTube channel where I played Octodad, Dadliest Catch, I did that, so you can watch me. It's a real quick video of me playing that game.
My plug for this week is actually a Reddit thread. Is that weird to plug? You think that's kind of weird, right? Well, this Reddit thread is to prank people, because I'm feeling like a prank is in order. I want to show you this thing. I'm going to do a little screen share here. It's very impressive, very impressive. So it's this. You can basically put your system is restarting in Windows 10 or Windows 7 or basically any OS that you're running. It has a link to it looking like your system's restarting. So if you just open this web page up, click the link, and then press F11 on your computer, it'll actually take up the whole screen, and it'll look like their computer is totally restarting. So if you want to play a joke on somebody, you can. Also, even if you hit enter on these screens, it'll do the error like you have an error. So it's pretty good stuff. And
Except for did you read the error message about ponies?
Yeah, I mean that's when
if you look at it closely, it's like a magic trick. If you look at it close enough, you'll figure it out.
Now you see it 4, and then I play pranks on people's computers. Ike, what's your plug for this week?
My plug for this week is go check out Just Fit Enough. If you're not fit enough, or you want to be fit, or maybe you don't care about people, but you want to listen to more Joe and Ike, you can go check us out on Just Fit Enough here on Just Cool Enough.
Yeah, shoutninja.com/justfitenough if you want to go through the backlog. We have a bunch of good episodes, and we have some good guests. We probably Ike, you got to find another guest for that show. I mean,
Why do I have to find the guest?
You're the ideas guy.
No, you're the ideas guy.
Yeah, unless he doesn't want to, and then you're the ideas guy.
Well, okay, fine.
Why do I always have to be the ideas guy?
Because you are the best at it. I'm not as good as you. Yeah, see,
Right,
that was some big brothering right there. That's how you get little brothers to do things. Like, Anthony, you're just so much stronger than I am. Why don't you? He's or like, no, I'm stronger than you. I'll do it. Oh no, I'll do it. No, yeah, that's how you do it right there. Wait, Ike just left. See, he's gonna go lift something up because I said I was stronger than him.
Oh, he's coming at you. Any minute
Comes
now,
through the
that
door.
door
Oh
behind.
my god!
I was recording the whole time next door, just so I could wait for the moment where I could bust through the wall.
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah!
Oh no! What are you getting in your magic bag?
In fact, that's what it is.
Is it really?
I'm getting money in my magic bag. Didn't know that was there.
The amazing magical Ike.
So one of my favorite tricks that I found while I was there, since we're at the do shit like this.
Yeah. Actually, end the show.
It's alright. You can go ahead and close it off. I'll just show you.
Okay, fine. I guess this is just a behind-the-scenes thing.
Well, I mean, just
You know
don't
what,
forget
Joe?
to.
The listeners are interested in this, so you know what? You can go fuck off.
Oh,
That was gonna be.
God, gee. Wow.
It's the magic bird. It was just I was gonna go like this, but you know.
Oh, you ruined Ike's trick. Well, you should never reveal the how you do the magic, Eric. Jeez, like you ruined Ike's trick. That was terrible. I want to. Ike, can you actually?
You want to see this trick?
show me
You want to see a trick?
Yeah, I want to see a trick.
Well, this works a lot better in person because you can actually you can look at the as the observer. You're welcome to look at and handle these objects.
Okay.
But I have like a screw. It's like a bolt.
That's fake.
And I have a nut. Normally you'd let them handle it so that they could realize that it's real and it fits together
Yeah,
like
but
that.
this one's fake. Yeah, I totally
This one's
see
fake. So what do you think it's gonna do?
It's gonna disappear.
No, it does something better than that. See, I actually have the power to use the force. You can see the bolt, right? Screwed on there with the nut.
Have you? Yeah, I see it. Yeah. What? What? How did you do that? Hey, that's enough of that. Your crazy sorcery.
Yeah.
I can see that you've studied for years.
It's the force. I've got my midi chlorians are off the scale.
See, you do that. Do that to every bolt on this plane. You just do that to a kid, like sit next to him, like if you don't stop crying, I'm gonna dismantle this whole entire aircraft while we're flying.
Yeah, I'm like Magneto. I've always wanted to be like Magneto.
Ike Nito, can that be your magic name?
There you go.
Yeah, see, I made
I'm
something.
gonna end this shit. It's already 7:31.
Bye.
Yeah,